understanding how to hear. You traveled all the way to Yerushalayim. All right. We had in the Mishnah, one of the things that combines with meat for a shear of tumah is this thing called olol. Aleph, lamed, lamed. What is it? So basically we're going to see here that olol in the Torah is one thing, olol in the Gemara could be another thing, and there's a machlokes. In other words, in the Torah, olol is this sinew, this nerve that runs on the back of the neck down into the spine. It's not edible. It's white and it tastes like wood. I forgot the term it's called. You might know.
I'm not sure what you're.
One of these nerves. Okay, fine. That's according to Rashi. According to Tosfos, this martika thing is actually dead meat. Dead meat, like we say, you're dead meat. There's a concept called dead meat in an animal. Part of his meat is just not alive.
You're Allah.
From now on, you're Allah. Not you. He wasn't pointing at you. He wasn't pointing at you.
Where are you?
No.
I wasn't. Metaphorically. Yeah, it was virtual.
You're talking about live meat here. That's very, very sensitive. Do not even in this area, please. V'olol. My olol. Rabbi Yochanan Omar martika. So, like I said, martika is this nerve. Tosfos says it's dead meat. This is going to change. But basar shepalati sakin, when we discuss about palati sakin, means the knife spits it out. Meaning when you fillet an animal and you remove the hide, you're gonna have these small pieces of meat that attach themselves to the skin. Nobody cares about them. You're not collecting those pieces of meat off the skin and putting it back in your pot. You just throw it out. So it's olol. Now, if you took those pieces of meat and you combine them with other meat, okay, so you have a shear. Meisvei v'ulam atem toivli shoker roifei elil kulchem. So this is the same lashon elil olol. This is Eli saying you're a bunch of lying doctors. I have this elil thing. You can't even heal me. Now, what can't you heal? Says the Gemara. Let's understand. If it's dead meat, like Tosfos, like Rashi, it's this nerve. You can't heal this nerve. Once it's ripped, it's finished. You know can't sew it.
Ligament might be a better term.
Oh, I like that ligament. Thank you. Ligament. Yeah, you're right. Thanks. You don't have to raise your hand though. And once a ligament snaps, we know unless you do surgery, there's no going back. But maybe even this ligament you can't put back in place. You're talking just a piece of meat. Barafu, it could heal. So in the Torah, there's no shiloh that we're talking about martika. When it comes to the Torah, we're talking about martika, not the basar shepalat sakin. Ki pligi baldim asnisin. What the Tanakhama meant. Toshma. We're not done yet. Rabbi Yehuda Omer ha'olol ha'mechunos.
So we are talking about basar shepalat sakin?
For now. But, hold on. Let's finish up here. Rabbi Yehuda says, olol ha'mechunos. If I gather the olol and I have im yesh b'kizayis b'mokim echad chayavim olav, it becomes an avela. If you touch it, you're tummy. If you eat it, you're chayiv. And we're going to see at the end of the sugya, that's how we're going to finish off today, these words. That what? You have to gather it by yourself, not your baby or little kid gather it or gathers by itself. You have to do it. Rashi says a baby gathers it, it's nothing.
In order to
be machshevit, to be machshevit as a kazais of basar. Now, if we're talking about 100% olol means martika, whatever martika means. In Rabbi Yehuda, it's 100% according to everybody. It means the plita sakin. It means meat. Ki pligi alim the rabbanon. So now where's the machlokes rabbanon in the Mishnah? Rabbi Yochanan Omar martika nami mitztaref. V'shlokish Omar dafke basar shepalat sakin. Rabbi Yochanan says even this dead ligament could be mitztaref. And Shlokish says no. The only thing that can mitztaref to basar is the shreds, the slivers of meat that are mitztaref. A martika loy mitztaref, but this ligament will not be mitztaref.
Why? What's their machlokes?
Maybe because you eat it agav. Maybe that's at the end of the day, it's wood. We see this concept of you have things, and we're going to see in a second, things that are not really edible, but since they're with the meat, they're next to the meat, sometimes you take a bite out of it, you don't really care, it's part of it. Happens. You have ligaments, sinews, I don't know, all sorts of stuff in your meat that typically you don't want to eat it on its own, but it's there, it happens to be there. You're going to start removing every ligament out of the neck, you're eating neck meat now. So it's mitzdaref. And he says, no, it's a piece of wood, I don't care. These little slivers, if he considered them meat, now here's very interesting, and this is what Noam brought up yesterday, and it's interesting that we today we have an answer to what he asked. Rashi says here, if you take a piece of, and we had this earlier, we should have remembered this, in this Masechta, if you take a piece of skin, hide, a tough piece of hide, and cook it for a bunch of hours until it becomes nice and soft, you add pepper and salt to it, and you eat it, you made a food. So to answer your question, if you take a piece of bark from a tree, cook it up nice, geschmack, put in all your chinga, whatever it's called, and spices, and you eat it, you're machshav it for food, you're able to take something that's not edible and be machshav it for food. So over here also,
halachically, it's
yeah,
considered
Rashi
food
says here. Rashi says
if it's even if it's not really food.
right.
If
If you want to see this Rashi the Ramaskal Ba'achi Nafshe, yeah, you could.
It doesn't have any food.
Rashi says, "Kori the matzi lemichle."
No, you have to eat it.
Time out. No.
He's not saying food.
No,
Two mas ochlin. The kaimelam the machshav mishavi uchlo kol mitin botzim michle. Afagav the lab urginamon peribem
Yeah, but you have
machshav.
to eat it.
Or who eats hide of a hide of a
Part
cow?
an animal. So in theory, it's
Okay.
supposed to be cooked.
Fine. Makor.
Love it. It's fine.
It's fine.
Who cares?
You're not machshav all the hundreds of
I'm
people.
not sure what's going on here. You're worried about there. I'm worried about
No,
here.
we see the numbers. Either choshev alei. Watch. Zog the Gemara. If a person had intention in his mind, he had intention to eat it and to make it food. Afidu bam penavshim tamo. B'doi choshev alei batuli batlei. Okay, just to address your point.
Yes.
We have to be most considerate for here. But there's other people out there also.
Why
What
you
about our
talking
friend in
about
California?
One second.
very considered then.
Go on. What was that?
So now, if you have intent for a battle, and if I didn't have intent, then it's useless. Rabbi Oben Rabbi Miyasha.
Even if what? Even if it's a whole steak.
Even if it's a whole kibbutza, it's nothing because they're slivers of meat and they don't mean anything.
Okay.
Chad Omar Miktzah. We have a camera. So. Chad Omar Miktzah Sirchishav Olav. No.
Somebody made a comment that they can't see Nachum.
What?
Nachum.
Not. You can't see me.
Yeah.
No, somebody was asking me yesterday because the famous Nachman Seltzer, the famous author, they want to see who he is. Somebody said, "Could you please send me a picture of Nachman Seltzer?" I went online, I typed in Nachman Seltzer, and 100 pictures came out. I sent him the nicest one. I picked the nicest one from 10 years ago. All right. Rabbi Oven v'Miyosha Chad Omer Miksosei Chishav Olav v'Chad Omer Miksosei Pilatei Chayo Miksosei Pilatei Sag. What's going on there? Unbelievable. Rabbi Say, this is very hard to understand. We'll do our best. Rashi says like as follows: a person he has a pile of alol. He has a pile of these shreds of meat, the slivers of meat. Half of them he said, I want them to be meat. Half he said, I don't care about them. So,
I think I'm joking.
Is Brera?
no, not yet. Not Brera. Half of it is he doesn't know which half is what. He said, I want part of it to be meat and half of it not to be meat. So the pile, says Rashi, listen to the difficulty here. There's a tremendous difficulty in Rashi. You have a whole kibbutza, let's say, of shreds of meat. Cut it down the middle. Half of it is good, he intended. Half of it he didn't intend. That pile of shreds you could use with another half a kibbutza to combine as a shear. Is that good? Does that make sense to anybody?
No, you're combining the shreds.
I have a pile of shreds. The Gemara says I had intent on one half, I didn't have intent on the other
You have
half.
a pile of shreds.
What did I gain here exactly? So I have a pile of shreds. Half of it is meat, half of it is not meat, and I can combine that half with another half of kibbutza and combine the two. So what happened? Nothing happened here. This kibetza of shreds is really a half a kibetza of meat. I could combine a half a kibetza with meat and another half a kibetza of meat. I didn't gain anything. It's not like I have some weird kind of meat. It's not like I have a ligament in my hand and I could take that half a kibetza ligament and combine it with a half a kibetza of meat. Tremendous chiddush. No, I have a half a kibetza of meat and I put it together with another half a kibetza of meat. So there's no chiddush.
But if you didn't gather it, it's batal.
Why? I intended for that half. I intended that half is good. I just don't know where it is. So that's what you're telling me? That within this kibetza, you should know you have a half a kibetza of meat. It's very hard to understand the Rashi. The Marshal has a completely different gear, so he brings something else, a different Rashi, and he says what Rashi meant is that beitza itself, the whole thing becomes good. Through my half a kibetza of good meat, I could render the other half that I didn't have a machshavan, and as mevatel I can make it good by showing that I like it. I like shreds, so then all the shreds become maybe. I don't know. Hard to.
Why did you have to recombine it with another lot of meat?
Okay, he doesn't.
It's not even.
Maybe he does. Maybe that's what Rashi means. He doesn't combine it with another. You're right, but that's the point.
It's just 50. Not even.
All right, it's not awesome. What are you talking about shreds here? You talking about snowboarding, shredding? Not awesome. Achartoim, the beak of a bird. Ooh, I had a good beak on my 8 minutes. I found a geschmacky beak. I don't know if it's not you saw that one? Gorgeous toucan, colorful, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu made these colors, unbelievable. The beak of a bird. What halacha does it have? It's a piece of wood. It's worthless. You can't eat it. But yet it says in the Braisa, Vatzipornaim, and the nails, mithamim umithamin umitztarfin. Tumah comes through them into the bird. Tumah goes out through the bird. It's a conduit for Tumah, and it's mitztarif to the bird. Chartoim eitz ba'almahu, it's just a piece of wood. Amar Rebbe Lazar, b'chartim tachtoim, talking about the lower beak. Tachtin ami eitz ba'almahu, amar apapa tachtin shel elyon. In the upper beak, there's a cartilage that's edible, sort of, and it's mitztarif to meat. That's all you need to know.
A really tough beak. Is it like a shomer? We have this concept.
Oh, it's like a shomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bird fights with that and protects its.
A shomer of what though? It has to be a shomer right above it, whatever its tongue. It has to be a shomer to something, like its tongue.
Shomer's around the head.
Cartilage.
Oh, you're saying you shomer to the whole body
Yeah.
because it fights with it.
Yeah.
That's not a shomer. Shomer means protecting from the elements, not a gun. A gun is not a shomer.
Can't say swords of shomer.
No,
A sword is not a shomer.
But you can hold it.
It's a yad, but a yad is not mitzdarif. A yad can't be mitzdarif. A shomer could be mitzdarif. A yad can't be mitzdarif. Yeah, I can lift the bird by its beak, especially the
You saw
toucan.
the beak, the bird in front of your house, killing them with the beak. He was killing.
I don't know what he was doing there. It was
He
with the
killing
wings. It
with
was
the
with the whole thing. Yeah.
It was the beak. No.
Omer Abba B'Tachtin Shalei. Tzipor Naim. So now, I'm not exactly sure what Tzipor Naim means. The hooves, maybe. No, that's the flying. Tzipor Naim is
Of the bird?
of
Talons.
Oh, so yeah. So the Tzipor Naim of the birds, maybe.
Talons. That's what it is.
Omer Rebbe Lazar Mokem Hamuvloin B'Basar. It's obviously referring to not the really tough part, the talon or the nail of this animal. It's talking about animals also. It has to be the part that's really inside the skin, meaning the soft part of the nail. Otherwise, blood will come out soft and somewhat edible at that point if you cook it with other meat, so it's mitzdarif. Kayotze boy. And now we're going into amazing halachas. We had this halacha in the Mishnah. If we just want to review real quickly what we learned in the Mishnah, we had, it's an insane case really. A Jew takes a knife, a shechita knife, and shechs a pig. Halachically, his shechita is valid for that period of time, from the time of the shechita until the time the animal dies, because there's a few minutes of mifarkeses, it's jolting around, it's quivering, whatever the word is. It's not dead immediately, right? They say the shechita, who said over here, the blood pressure drops immediately within a second, so the animal's knocked unconscious, but it's still alive, it's still jumping around. Today we're going to be discussing that period of time, from the time you shecht until the time it actually dies, expires completely. What's the halacha status? There's different, very interesting halachas. And we had in the Mishnah that if a Jew does the shechita with a kosher knife to a pig, which there's no shechita in a pig, he at least accomplished that he created, and he did it for a guy. There's four conditions: shechita knife, a non-kosher animal, a Jew performed the shechita, not a guy, and he did it for a guy. So by him doing it for a guy, what did he do here? He created food. So food is makabel tuma. In other words, once the animal completely expires, this pig expires, then she's an avela on the spot, by herself. Forget about the Jew, forget about shechita. That animal's an avela. You want to make it 2 minutes earlier. You want to make the tuma occur from the time of shechita. Shechita is only through a Jew, through a kosher knife. And we're going to see it's unbelievable. It has to have all the halachas of shechita, no shihiyah, no drisa, in a pig.
They would say it's going over
Oh, and now we're going to go through halachas of Ever Menachai. Is it Ever Menachai or not? Is this animal alive or dead? What if somebody's reveya this animal? Is it an alive for reveya? Does the guy get misa? What kind of tumah does it have? All the halachas right here in this summit. What about a Jew? No, it's not food for a Jew.
You can make footballs out of it.
So that's not food. In order to be kabel tumah, it has to be food, not football. So now, two very simple halachas. The two extremes are a Jew shechting a cow, a kosher animal. On the other hand, you have a guy shechting a pig. Those are the two extremes. A Jew shechting a cow, does he have to consider it food? No, because he's doing everything correctly. What about hechsher tumah? In order for this cow to become tamei, you have to be machshir. Just like you take a grape, you have to pour water on the grape. You have to pour water on an animal. But we don't have to pour water on an animal. Why? The blood of the animal is machshir. But you have to do the concept called hechsher. The Gemara over here says that if a guy shechs a kosher animal, or a Jew shechs a non-kosher animal, there's no hechsher tumah. So you have to introduce water. Because the blood of that animal is not blood. It's not kosher blood. It's only kosher shechita blood that creates hechsher tumah. So, and I don't know if I said that halacha. If a guy shechs a pig, two no-nos, they're both no good. So even if he says to himself, I'm considering this meat, I'm considering this food, it's not going to work. His machshava doesn't work in that case. And on the other hand, a Jew that shechs a cow doesn't have to consider it food. What about the in-between case, where a Jew shechs a pig, or a guy shechs kosher? And now we have Omer Rav Asi Shoinin, the Tanoim learned, interesting lashon, Yisrael b'tmeya, if you have the in-between case. A Jew shechting a pig, and a guy shechting a cow, you need two things. You need that the gum dam. Then there's a special pasuk that says that's okay. But shechting in a not kosher, all it needs is a small shear of a kazayis. Meaning it's very, very strong. It's small kazayis could be a person. You don't need a kabetza. It shows that it's very strong. So anytime it gets to that situation, you don't need hesh. As the Gemara is going to prove from a bird. You have to be machshir your seeds with water. A seed can never become avatuma. Why? Even if a seed touches a dead person, it can't become tummy avatuma. Why? Rashi explains the only thing that can become tummy avatuma is something that you could be mitar in a mikvah. Since a seed you can't be toivel in a mikvah and a kli cheres, then these things don't become avatuma. So they need hechsher tuma. That's what the pasuk is talking about. A zera. Why did the Torah talk about a zera? Because it's the lowest on the totem pole. It's all the way in the bottom. It can't go in the mikvah. It needs hechsher. However, an avela, something that's going to become an avela, this animal over here in 5 minutes is going to become an avela when it stops jolting around. So avela, why in the world do you need to introduce water on it? This pig also, the pig is going to become an avela, treif chazer. Why do you have to pour water on it in order for it to be mitamet tumas oichlin? Right? I don't know if I was clear. There's tumas nevela, after it dies, and we're talking about a tumas oichlin, temporary tumas oichlin in between. This is very interesting. If you don't turn the page and don't pink your Rashi, you won't know what's going on here. A kosher bird that dies needs machshava in order to make it a tameh. Why? So Rashi says, because we're talking about in a kfar, we're talking about in a village that they don't eat birds. So they don't consider birds food. Birds are not food by them. That's what he says. And you have to consider it in your head as food.
Depends what type of bird.
They don't have money for birds. They put the too poor for birds. I don't know.
Us, we don't eat pigeons, so
No, because we don't like it. We don't want it.
we don't consider it.
Maybe. I don't consider it food. I consider it as a rat. I'm saying each person, what?
Did you ever try pigeon?
Roast pigeon is considered a
I think I
delicacy.
did.
It's a delicacy.
I cannot.
Maybe so eating.
Kosher. Dove.
It's Chatoyan Nimaskar Yom. I was driving through Bet and I ran over a pigeon last week, the first time in my life. I didn't have any. I couldn't. They bother me so much. They cause such damage in my place that
Looking for one to run over.
No, it's just I happened to look in the. I thought I was like, usually they fly away, and this guy didn't fly away. And then his friends, I'm not kidding. His friends were looking at him like, what? They looked. I saw this look of like, what just happened to our friend? He's a pancake. What just happened? All right, let's go back
So
to
like, if we have a deal, is a deal.
what?
Is a deal, you fly away. What's going on?
He gives Manoi. He was too old. Across the street, there wasn't even a crosswalk over there. Nothing.
Gets a lot of the chicken.
But you know what? No, seriously. You don't. I just caught something. You don't see pigeons walking around in Aleph in the middle of the street. Over there, it's the derech to walk in the middle of the street. Okay, fine. Fine. So this bird, what's amazing here, and it took me some time to understand it. I'm not sure that I understand this really. You guys could tell me how you understood it. It says here that a bird, since eventually, hear me now, I need help over here. Since a bird eventually can be eaten by a human being, and if he eats it, he will become Tomei Tumah Chamura. It's amazing. This bird right now is not Tomei. You touch it, nothing happens. Zero. If I put it in my throat, it's Tumah Chamura. So therefore today, I don't have to be machshur, I don't have to pour water on it. So this is the concept that we're looking for. Anything that's going to become Tumah Chamura, I don't have to pour water on it. But a nevela is different, says the Gemara. Here, so the question is, so why nevela? This pig is going to become a nevela. It's no different than a bird that's going to become going to somebody's throat. Says the Gemara, we don't know that this pig is going to be a nevela, because maybe someone's going to take a knife and chop it up into small little tiny pieces.
Before it becomes a real while it's mefarcheses?
Yeah.
How does it do that?
What's your question? You just go really quick and you cut it up into small pieces.
Each piece you just cut off just became an avail.
No, it only becomes an avail when it dies. I thought you were asking what the Ramban asks on Rashi. The Ramban says if you're cutting it up into such small pieces, then it's dead. Then it turns into an avail before you cut it up. How do you? That's basically what you're asking. You're getting there. How do you get alive and cut up? She says it's all small pieces. Right? She says the whole. Okay, so the Ramban says he doesn't mean it. He means one piece you cut up into small. You can't say that this leg is going to be nevela because this leg I cut up into small pieces. Each piece is individual. Fine. But what's going on here? All the Gemara says is that a tremendous chiddush. Since I could cut it up and make sure it's not an nevela, so right now I don't know that. And what about a bird? What about a bird? I don't know for sure that somebody's going to eat the bird. I don't know. It's a lot more likely that this animal is going to become an avela than this bird is going to be eaten by a human being, dead, after it died without a shechita. So what's going on here? So I think I understand it a little bit, is that the bird is right now dead. Right now it's dead. All that's missing is that a person should eat it. But right now it's already dead. Masha'inkin, the avela is not dead yet. You're saying that in a few minutes it's going to be dead, but we might not ever get to those few minutes. It might explode. There might be it might just boom in 1 second it'll disintegrate. We don't know for a fact it's going to be dead. But the bird is for a fact dead. It's just missing the piece that it's going to be eaten, which to me is also very far removed. But that's enough for the Gemara to say there's a big distinction here. Somebody has a better pshat, please. Let me know, WhatsApp me, whatever. Amalei Rabbi Yirmiyah Rabbi Zera, Umi Omar Chizki Yehochi Va'oitmar Shochat Bo Shnayim or Roiv Shnayim V'Adainim Farkeses. If you take a non-kosher animal and you shecht the two simanim and she's still jolting around, Chizki Omar Einolei Varim. So here's the question of Ever Menachai. Chizki says that's not Ever Menachai. Rabbi Yochanan Omar Yesh Lei Varim, it is Ever Menachai. Chizki Omar Einolei Varim Meisohi. So now we have to deal with what is going on here. Is this animal dead or alive or in between? And the Gemara says it's both. It's dead and it's alive. Meaning, for Ever Menachai, as you're going to see in a second. Meisi. Rabbi Yochanan Omar Yesh Lei Varim Lav Meisi. Omar Lei Yotze Miklal Chayo Uleklal Meisi Lei Bas. That basically, when we're talking about Ever Menachai, it's not chai. It's not alive. It got a shechita already. It's not chai. When we're talking about dead, the Torah says the lashon is v'chiyomus mina behema. It has to be dead. Not alive. It has to be dead. There's a difference between not alive and dead. That's what the Gemara says. Not alive, so it's not ever mina chai. But dead, nevela needs to be dead. It has to be mamish and mace. Ufa. You hear the distinction? No. So. Shochat b'shnayim and roiv shnayim v'adainim v'akeses. Chizki Omar Einolei Varim Rabbi Yochanan Yesh Lei Varim. We just read this. All the Gemara is doing now is saying that I have a brisa to prove that Rabbi Yochanan is right, that there is Ever Menachai, as long as it's not dead, it's still Ever Menachai. Shechita doesn't help me to get rid of Ever Menachai. Why? The Tana Rav Oishik will say, the Tana Rav Oishik, Yisrael sheshochat behema tmei lo yivit gechavim. A Jew that shechted a pig for a guy, shochat b'shnayim or roiv shnayim or for keses, even if the shechita was great and it's jumping around, metama tumas oichlim. This is what we had already. You could create a tumah in this pig for food. Avaloi tumas nevelos no chiddush here. Ever haparish mimeno keparish menachai. Over here it says mefurish like Rabbi Yochanan. If the aver comes off, then it's like coming off of a live animal. Ubasar parish mimeno kebasar parish menachai. So over here, Rashi says an amazing thing that the aver that comes off becomes tamei immediately, and the basar that comes off doesn't have tumah. Rashi says, so over here, what?
Why does that only apply to the Behemoth? What happens if somebody slaughters a kosher animal for goy?
No, because shechita makes it dead immediately.
Even for a goy?
Yeah, because there's nothing that a guy could be worse than a Jew. If for a Jew, shechita makes it immediately this, you can't have an isser that a guy has and a Jew doesn't have. Jews have more Yisurim than Goyim, not less Yisurim than Goyim. And Shechita works immediately. But since we're talking about a non-kosher animal...
But here we also have a situation with Behemoth Tmeah, right?
Tmeah.
There's a Jew, or he tries multiple eating Tmeah, but he won't be over Menachai.
No. If
So for
the
him,
Jew...
it has to work even on the pig.
No, but it's not a real Shechita.
But the guy
It's
is
shechita. No, the Jew would be. The Jew would be on a non-kosher animal. Because it's not kosher. It's not a real shechita. It's not. Ein bo tuma shel klum. Okay, Taisus says that it's the same thing basically. If you shecht just one siman, it says it doesn't have tuma soichlim, and then it says if you did an achira, meaning you cut it like the goyim do, they slice open the stomach like that from top to bottom. Ein bo klum. Okay, Taisus says don't be medayik so much in the words. A guy that shechted a kosher animal for a Jew. He wants the food. Because he had in mind, I wanted for food for a Jew. That we learned. Shochat bo echad echad. If you took a kosher animal and he shechted one sim, eina metametum esoichlem. Nechora eba tumah shel klum. Shochat ekechad b'makom sheino yisas treifa. Here's the interesting halacha. I think we learned this, but it seems like there's a big raid here in the. Who was it in the Rishonim, and the Beisaysev brings it. Basically, what happens if a Jew a guy shechted 50% of the simanim, and the Jew finished off the rest? We had it. And what happens in a reverse case, but worse? A Jew shechted 70%, let's say, whatever. He shechted Roiv Simonim, 51%, just 70% to make it clear. And then a guy came and shechted from 70 to 100. What's the halacha? Since we go by the end of the shechita, the guy ruined it. Even though the Jew completed a full shechita.
Wait, hold on. Is the Jew watching the goy?
Yeah.
So the Mishnah said already that it's fine. It said,
No.
No,
It's a cotton.
Yeah, not a guy.
another goy?
No. Otherwise, you wouldn't have sheikhim flying to Spain. You'd have all the Polish guys there, all the Spaniards.
I thought
The shofar watching the goy's slaughter, making sure he does a good job.
No. In other words, if the guy didn't shecht enough, Uba Yisrael Gemara and the Jew finished it off, Sheira. Even if the guy performed a complete shechita, the Jew performed a complete shechita, and then the Jew finished it off, the guy finished it off again. The guy did everything, and the Jew finished it off. It's possible. Okay, now in the if the guy finished off the Jewish, if the Jew did 51% or 70%, the guy finished it off. It goes by the Gemar, and it's no good.
Even if the Jew made it, even if the Jew shechted it, there was a trade.
Hold on, there's two people talking.
If the Jew did 70% of the shechita,
Yeah,
and it stopped there, nobody did anything more.
that's perfect.
Would be perfect. So why are we saying that somebody else?
So that's what we discussed back then, and that's the whole raid here. So some Rishon, I forgot who it was, not the, whatever, one of the Rishonim says it's a problem of Shehiyah. And then they go into a whole thing, could there possibly be Shehiyah by a guy, by a second person? Maybe she is only by one person, and not a second person. But Rashi over there in that sugya says that we don't care, even though you did 70% and you could stop right there, and we had a hard time understanding, but that was Rashi L'Shita, that because it all goes by the end, and you're right, you could have stopped, but you didn't stop, and you continued, and you finished, and the finish was bad. Rashi says it by Shehiyah. I did 70%, it was perfect. I could stop right here and go home, and the animal's kosher. I stopped, I paused, me the sheikhet, and then I continued, I did the rest. Why is it Shehiyah? I already accomplished my shechita. But I go by the end. I go by the end. So over here also, take out the Jew, you stick in a guy, it's bad. A guy is bad. From 70 to 100 is bad. It's hard to understand, but that's the shita.
What is the kavana?
No, it's shchita. It's a ma'aseh shchita. The end of the shchita is a part of the beginning. It combines the beginning, and at the end we had a guy doing it and not a Jew. It's a tremendous chiddush. Now, in those days they had a remedy. They would eat live meat, live out of an animal. Like I saw that video of in Africa they drink live blood. It's like it's a healing thing. That's where they get the protein. They made a whole animal. They drink. So if you eat a live piece of meat, it's mamash, it can heal you. So how does if a Jew wants to eat a live piece of meat, how does he go about doing it? According to Rashi, eating a piece of meat after shechita, when the animal is still jumping around, midaraisa is 100% okay. But midarabanan, and the Gemara brings a pasuk. It seems like it's almost deraisa, but Rashi says it's smachta ba'alma. It's nothing. If you look at this thing, you could, but you have to find one. It says in Sanhedrin of Samach Gimel, it says mefurish. Even after shechita, there's a loisasa shenem loisoichlu al adam. Says Rashi, v'asmachta derabbanan ba'almi. It's not literally. Don't take it literally. It's a issa deraisa. It's a issa derabbanan. Okay, but I want to eat this meat. The person wants to be healed. What does he do? The Gemara cheats a little bit. At the end of the day, it's not really alive. You remove a piece of meat from its neck. So here's very interesting. You have to wash it off very, very well and salt it very, very well. But we said that already in every animal. You have to wash it off very, very well. Over here, Rashi says it has to be even more than very well. So what's going on here? So there's an amazing Tosfos on Daf Lamed Gimel that says that this sugya is talking about that he roasted it. Because Tosfos is trying to say, like, how do I get to the food really quickly? if I go through the whole process of salting and rinsing and
The
cooking,
guy's dead already, a long time.
yeah, I need the healing powers of live meat. This is 3 days later. Shalom Aleichem. So therefore, according to Taisvis, you roast it immediately. Roasting doesn't require milicha and rinsing. And memela, that's why Rashi says over here, malchi yafa yafa. That's more than usual.
Even by the time it finishes roasting, it's still going to be,
Okay,
still be.
you're right.
There's no way to
But,
do it.
There's no way to do it. That's why I said there's no way to do it. But this is the closest to getting there. But what's the point? The point is that when the Gemara says yafa yafa, meaning typically I don't have to do it at all. That's the chiddush. You hear? I don't need salting in this case. And yafa yafa means more than usual.
Rashi there explains that the reason it has to be done more because the place of shechita has got much more blood.
Well, Rashi here explains it. Rashi here says it. What?
The blood
That
spurts out.
you didn't give a chance for the animal to groan. The groaning causes all the blood to rush out. Since you just cut a piece of his neck out, so he wasn't groaning as much, he didn't expel the blood, so this piece has more blood than usual. That's how he says.
And it's a place where the shechita
Yeah.
is.
Zog the Gemara. So what does he do? You have to anyways wait until it's completely dead. Boy, Rebbe Lazar. Where are you? Oh, sorry. You have to be makben on hilchos shchita. A lot of times it's machlokes if it means aliyah. No, you're not. Over Rashi doesn't talk about it. You have to do all the halachas. And I have to go as far as even checking the knife, as we do for a kosher animal. I have to do for this pig. So we had, you remember sugya? Somebody smuggles a ring into a room, in his body, in his cavity, and there's a dead person in the room. Everything in the room becomes tameh, including his body, including his clothes, but not the ring. This is called balua. Now, if it's inside an animal, also not a problem. Amazing. When I get to rings, it cannot save it. So we have to go l'chumra, Rashi says. But over here we don't go l'chumra because he killed the guy. For revia, bestiality, chayav, it's considered completely alive. If somebody was over in revia, you get the death penalty, but the ring is not matzel. So on the one hand, it's completely alive, you get the death penalty. On the other hand, it can't save a ring.